Welcome back, everybody. We are live on the Jits Guy Podcast. Thank you so much for waiting. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend and are hyped up for this week. We have some incredible guests lined up for you. If you are not subscribed to this channel, then what the fuck are you doing? Go hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you can see these people live when they come onto the Jits Guy Podcast. My guests today, for the 50th episode of this podcast, I wanted to match the enormity of the event with an enormous guest himself. He's not just enormous in his jiu-jitsu, but also his personality. My guest is a BJJ Black Belt from the first generation of Arabs training the art, especially out of Jordan. He's a Judo Black Belt. He represents and competes under the Jordanian flag and raises it at the highest levels of competition around the world. Today, he owns and instructs out of one of the toughest gyms in Amman, Jordan, Knights JJ Academy, and more. You'll find out some more when we talk about it. Please give it up for the Grand Duke of Jordan himself, Zaid Granduke. Thank you so much, brother, for being here.
Thank you, Abuzuz. Thank you for this job, man. Thank you for giving this athlete this exposure. Man, I appreciate your job. I appreciate the job of all the guys who will give us this exposure because we need it.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And honestly, it's an honor to be able to talk to guys like you, because here's the thing. The US is very advanced when it comes to media and blogs and vlogs, but they're not as advanced as us when it comes to talent. It's just we didn't catch up with media side. Now we're fucking catching up so that we can shine a light on people like you. I admire you, sir. I love what you do. You're a very loved person in the jiu-jitsu community, and I can't wait to get to know you better through this podcast.
Alhamdulillah. I always say Alhamdulillah for this.
Yes.
I always have this relationships with jiu-jitsu for 12 years now. I'm practicing, teaching, coaching, and competing. Is one of the most wonderful communities around the world. And even traveling, and I always tell the people, who want to travel abroad to study, to continue their studies, start jiu-jitsu from here, Jordan, and you go there, you have a second family, like this,
Yes. Man, that's the amazing thing, I think, as well. We went through a phase, as Arabs, let's say, that when you graduated high school, the expiration date of your time in an Arab world was ending. You had to travel outside, supposedly, to get education. But now we're slowly getting more cool shit in our countries. That makes us be like, no, I want to stay. I don't want to leave. I have some great things going on here. And jiu-jitsu is one of them. Like Jordan, there's plenty of good and bad that you can say regardless where your perspective is in Jordan. But one thing you cannot deny is if you're a fighter and you love fighting, Jordan is the fucking place to be in the Middle East.
It's a hot spot. It's a hot spot.
Yeah.
You have Abu Dhabi, and you have the Gulf countries. You have Kuwait, Bahrain. You have Saudi Arabia. They started it.
Yes.
And you have Jordan.
Yes, sir.
Egypt, the Moroccan countries. The
Tunis, Jazair,
yes. These guys are fighters. These guys, we don't know them because they're very close to Europe. Yeah. But these guys are fighters. Munir Lazaz is from there,
Exactly. And he shocked the world in UFC.
Yeah, big congratulations for this guy. Man, I respect him a lot.
Man, he made us all proud, and he lit a fire under every Middle Eastern's ass right now. If you're a Middle Easterner and you're fighting, you got a fire in your ass right now because of him. Absolutely incredible. But you're right. Listen, our region always had fighters. We always had tough guys. It's just we didn't know the path, right? We end up in the shisha cafe. We end up in the cinema. We didn't end up in the fight gym, right?
This is one of the culture we are actually fighting and facing in it. And I think that all societies always follow idols. They follow some they take it for idol, and athletes is the proper idols for the young generation. I believe that. And because of that, actually, one of the things we work on is the professional athleticism. Our problem with our athletes, that they can't make money from their sport. And actually, this is what holds them back. As you said, it's not that talent. It's just, we don't have that type of culture for sponsorships. The private sector needs something, need exposure. And our athletes, they don't have exposure, including me,
I get you. Yes,
so
that's
a
big issue.
On that. Yeah.
How do you think we improve that as fighters?
As fighters, basically doing this, getting the word out.
Yes.
Saying look, this is what we do. This is where we compete. This is our influence in the community.
Yes.
This is how we teach the kids. Like the story of the 6 years old who defended his sister, from
Wow.
a dog attack. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Don't you want your kid, to have this responsibility and courage?
Oof. If I can find something that can teach him to be that brave, sign me up. Absolutely.
So basically, getting back to the ground, I think first thing you need to do to go your direction to the private sector, because we know the problems with the public sector. Okay, they have bureaucracy and a lot of stuff. So we go to the private sector, and the private sector needs marketing.
Yes.
So we can market ourselves as a tool, as a CSR, as a community message. Every company have a community message to the community they operate in.
Yes.
I believe that athletes is a marketing asset.
100%. Well said.
We just have to expose it to these companies, to this private sector. And it's hard. It's hard when you see talent just give up because of this.
No
because
money.
he have responsibilities. Yeah. And you know what? The highest talents that I saw on this sport is actually people who don't have money. So they have that choice especially after completing the university.
Yes.
Is what I'm gonna do. I need money. I need to proceed with my life, with my personal life.
Wow.
So
Such a huge point.
Yeah, we don't need to put ourselves in this position. Either I go sport without money, or leave the sport and try to get a normal life and get money and.
Yeah. I mean, coming from a marketing background myself, I think the single biggest thing you see fighters not doing is positioning, right? You have to position yourself in a place where a brand can relate to you. You can't be available for every brand. Maybe you're a Monster Energy kind of guy, or maybe you're a, I don't know, Lay's chips kind of guy. I don't know. Like, you have to position yourself to match with the brand image of a company. It'll make it easier for them to be attracted to you. I think that'll also help people.
Oof. Man, this is an expert advice.
Right?
Actually, yeah.
Conor McGregor was perfect for whiskey, right? Because he has that Irish, fuck it, let's fight in a bar kind of image, right?
Yeah.
But maybe you're like a halal chicken kind of guy.
100%. I would prefer meat, but I would go with chicken. No problem.
Whatever works for you, man. But that's the thing. Like, I think people should look for the companies that they would be proud to have their patches on their gi and study their brand package. What's their voice? What's their vision? And try to align your social media presence with it, so that when they look at you, like, man, this guy was fucking born to represent my company, right?
I have such situation.
Okay.
That my sponsors now is called it's a travel and tourism agency called Sparta. So basically, they saw my Instagram. They saw how I travel, how I take picture, always with food. So they felt that I'm a good representation. Actually, we have a very healthy relationship with them.
Amazing.
And they allowed me to compete, to increase my competition like 40%. Can you imagine that? 40%, 50%, I increased my competition because of this sponsorship.
Because you're getting finance, man. That's amazing to hear.
Yeah, that's it.
Man, Zaid, you have the most fun Instagram I've ever fucking saw. Like, it is so much fun scrolling through your feed. You travel because, like, you have such a unique background to you. You have the Circassian background, right?
Yeah,
and I feel like Circassian, and you have this nice connection with these countries when you travel. When you put on that, like, what is it called?
Yeah, the patwa.
The patwa. When you put it on,
patwa, in Dagestan they call it bakhbakh.
Bakhbakh, yes, exactly. It suits you. And when you went to Mongolia and you put that fucking outfit in the picture, gangster, man. People need to go. Guys, if you're listening and you're not following on Instagram, please go stalk him. It's the best Instagram account. I always have a good time with your posts, man. That's why these brands should follow.
Yeah. But I enjoy cultures.
Yes.
Enjoy cultures. Enjoy make a connection with these people, especially the locals. I don't like to go in the hotel, 5-star hotels, and don't go out and just luxury stuff. No. I like to get into the dirt,
Bro, the video of you in Mongolia on the horses, hiya. It killed me, man. I died. I was like showing my wife, showing my son. Fucking gangster, man. I love it.
They call the Genghis Khan in Mongolia. They say, "Oh man, you look like us."
That's true, man. And that's the thing. Like, your heritage is closely linked to Asia, Russia, which was linked to Genghis Khan at some point, right? There's a lot of heritage from there. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Sharkas bloodline that's in Jordan? Like for the people that don't know Jordan and don't know how we have a lot of link with Russia. Can you explain that a little bit to us?
Yeah, well, basically it started like old times with the Mamluks.
Okay.
So we had the Ayyubi kingdom. It was started with Najmuddin Saleh Ayyub. He started to bring these professional fighters and actually bring them from young age and raise them inside his castle to be his private army. So it started like that, yeah. And after he died, there is a very famous character in the Islamic history called Shajrat al-Durr. She had this part, and from there it switches from the Ayyubis, which were, I think, Arabs, and they switch it to the Mamluks, were basically a mixture of Caucasians and Turks.
Okay.
So then they defeat the Mongols in Ain Jalut when they came here after burning Baghdad and occupying, conquering Damascus. Then they came down to conquer the last resort of Islam. It was
they wanted Mesopotamia. They wanted all of it.
Exactly, and they wanted also to go to Europe. So basically, the only guys who defeated them was the Zahir Berbers and Qutuz in Ain Jalut battle. So and Zahir Berbers and Qutuz was from a Circassian descent.
I see.
So it started like that, and then they started a dynasty. It's called the Mamluk dynasty. They were governed over like 400 years approximately until the Ottomans and the Mamluks had a battle between them in Marj Dabiq, and they finished the Mamluki dynasty in Egypt.
Interesting. And this bloodline extends till today between Jordan and Egypt and these regions, right?
Well, the one today is different because this is the backstory of how we start connected with the region here. My story and my ancestor's story started in 1864 when we lost the war against Russia.
Okay.
The Imperial Russia, not the modern one. The Imperial Russia. We lost the war after 101 years of war.
Okay.
So we lost it, and then they took they did a genocide, a big one in what's called now Sushi.
Okay.
And they kicked us all out because we all keep revolting. You can't.
They couldn't control.
You can't control these guys because mountains, Circassian, the mindset. We don't have the mindset. If our leader died, we stop.
Keep fighting.
If the leader keep fighting. We have connection with the land, we have connection with and this one of the things that we upbringing is different because it was tough. I remember one of the senior army guys here in Jordan, he's from Circassian descent. He says in one of his interviews that being a Circassian is more difficult than being a soldier. And this is reality because we have a set of rules called Adiya Habza that rules our life. And these rules is very difficult. Now, of course, with the modern world, it comes like more easy because we don't have, in a warfare. We don't live a warfare anymore.
Right.
Hopefully.
But do you maintain those cultural traits?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And because of that, if you come to Jordan or you come anywhere, you have Caucasian people like Dagestan, Chechnya, so all people always ready to fight.
Wow. This is something that most people don't know about. Like, I didn't even know about this. Like, this is like a cultural heritage that you pass on within your family to the kids. You teach them this for your heritage?
Yeah. We teach them this with the language. We teach them this with the traditions. And we teach them about the country from where they came,
Wow.
And, that's it. So basically, after the war, we started distributing us into the Ottoman Empire.
Okay.
And this is the modern history of the Circassian people in the Middle East. So they put us to protect, the Hijaz train.
Yes.
So basically, the Hijaz train and to protect
the trade routes.
The Ottoman presence in the Middle East because Circassians were very loyal.
Yes.
And also very strong,
Man, that's an incredible history. That's an incredible history, man. So you had pride in this background from a very young age?
Yeah. It's like, for me, it was very normal, to go into fighting. I feel normal. I don't feel like I did something outside of my character when I fight. When I go to fighting, when I do grappling, boxing, and now hopefully doing some MMA related stuff.
Okay, good to hear.
I feel so natural, I feel so natural.
It does strike me like that, man. This is what I like about your personality, and I like about your story, is that you're a guy that's ready to throw anytime, and you take on really tough challenges. Like, you don't go the easy route, not in jiu-jitsu, at least from what I've seen and researched. And I wanted to talk to you about the Circassian roots, because I feel like these are closely connected. Circassian people are quite brave and known in the Middle East to be tough guys. So it's nice that you represent your culture very well in that way.
Yeah, well, we have a proverb in the Adiga language. We call ourselves Adiga. Circassians is the name they gave us around us. It's the mountain people. Circassians mean the mountain people. We call ourselves Adiga. So we have a proverb in our language. It says basically, be a man or die. That's it. It's very short,
Nice and simple.
Nice and simple. Be a man or die. And all the fans, when they come to MMA event, a grappling event, always they raise the banner. Be a man or die. That's the mentality we have.
Is there a proverb for women, or is it also be a man or die?
Actually, man in the language, especially I always speak about Arabic. Rajul, this man is go unisex. It can go with the woman and with the male. Yeah.
That's a very important point, by the way, in history. A lot of people refer back. They look at history like, oh, this was a sexist culture. But in order to understand the culture, you got to understand the language. Some languages, like the Farsi language, has no gender. The Russian language doesn't have as much gender. Only specific things recently have gender, but the old Russian Cyrillic languages don't have a specific gender.
It's a fallacy. It's a fallacy.
Yeah.
They use it. They take things out of context and they bring it to their time and judge it by their laws of their time. 100%. It's a known fallacy,
100%. That's true, man. So your childhood, basically, like, when did you start martial arts? You started judo first, right?
No, I started in 2007 or something like that. I started Aikido.
Oh,
yeah.
La. What's going on? Okay.
So basically, what happens that you remember IFL, International Fight League? It was something before. So I saw this team always winning. Everybody's winning, is doing jiu-jitsu. I was thinking, man, what is this jiu-jitsu, man? It has a ring to its name, so it's cool.
Yes.
And everybody's playing jiu-jitsu is winning. So I started to search about jiu-jitsu that time, but it was not that popular here in Jordan.
Sure.
So basically, I was going to the gym, swimming, and I saw these people flying with swords and knives and everything. So, I don't know what is that, but even
sign me up.
So I'm gonna do it, man. Sign me up. I'm sold. Hey. So I started training. Aikido for a year and a half, something like that.
Cool.
And after it, actually, I've been introduced to my coach and my partner now, Captain Jahad Touj. One of the most influential persons here in Jordan concerning jiu-jitsu. Especially for me. Yeah, he's the secretary of the federation. Also.
Nice.
So basically, he introduced me to jiu-jitsu, and we started training. Then he introduced me to Team Mirza, to Zaid Mirza. We started training there, and from there, I get hooked from the first day. I get my ass kicked the first day. That's it.
That's the story with everybody. But it was a small group when you first started jiu-jitsu, right? It wasn't very popular.
When I came, it was becoming popular a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. It was becoming popular a little bit.
Was it around the same time as like Ghalia, Thabit, all of these guys training?
No, these are the old guys.
They were before you.
Yeah, when I came, I remember Thabit, which is brother from another mother. Shout out for him,
Yes.
He was a purple belt, I think. He was a purple belt.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
I saw the 2008. I think he was a purple belt.
Wow, I didn't know. That's crazy. This is the thing, Zaid. Like, as I'm doing my podcast, because part of my mission is to retrace the history in the Middle East so that we can have a reference of what happened when. So when somebody's like, man, when did Jordan start jiu-jitsu? They can go back and see these podcasts and hear you, hear Thabit, hear Ghalia, so we can start referencing to know ourselves better. Yeah. It's tying in. Now I'm starting to see a pathway. So Thabit was a purple belt. You were how old when you started jiu-jitsu? 15. You start jiu-jitsu. When do you start judo?
I started judo actually late. I started jiu-jitsu before judo. I started before 5 years. It was because one of my friends called Hashim Hiari, also shout out from him. He's a black belt in judo, and he have that driving passion about judo, and it's contagious. So
he influenced you.
Yeah, he influenced me, and I like takedown. So I started training judo. I went to the federation, competed here in Jordan, the nationals.
Nice.
You know, and it seems to me it's the same sport but different rule set. That's it.
Man, you know what? Like, I just had a podcast last week with a gentleman named Shadi, and we talked about the history of jiu-jitsu, and we realized how much judo is actually jiu-jitsu, and that jiu-jitsu was just like a different name.
Jiu-jitsu, it means that unarmed combat. So basically anything without an arm is jiu-jitsu. Is like the term in Portuguese, vale tudo.
Yeah.
You know? So basically judo is a derivative of jiu-jitsu. But now in the modern world, the sport world, it's actually just a different rule sets.
Yeah.
So basically the judo, they concern in the stand-up more, and the ippon is the big goal. In jiu-jitsu, in the niwaza, in the ground, and we see the submission as the ultimate.
Yes, that's true. But that's the interesting thing, and like, not to get into it, like, you guys can check out the podcast I did with Shadi, but it was a very interesting discussion where judo was not what it is today. Judo became what it is today because of the IJF, but in the past, judo was actually all inclusive.
Single leg, double leg,
It was me and you to fight until somebody wins. And if it goes to the ground, there's nobody to stop it and make it go up. There was no ippons.
Yeah.
So back then, judo had a lot of ground game. And that's where the history of Mitsuru Maeda and the Gracies came from. It's a super interesting.
Judo. It's called Kosen Judo.
100%. Exactly, man. Exactly.
They had De La Hiva. They had. I saw pictures. They had De La Hiva guard. They have half guard. They have everything. But because, like you said, the driving force was the IGF and the rule set of the IGF, so they
prioritized the takedowns. They didn't prioritize.
For sure, because of the show, of the people, the audience.
That's where it gets tricky, I think, for jiu-jitsu. They're planning on trying to get jiu-jitsu to the Olympics. It's so difficult to watch it if you don't do jiu-jitsu, sir.
You touch on that,
I know, on a nerve.
Yeah. One of the motives that I started my master's degree in Olympic studies is actually to figure out what's going to happen with jiu-jitsu.
Okay, and what do you think?
Being an Olympic sport, I think we still have a lot of things to work on.
Yes.
The JJF is doing well.
Okay.
Is doing the first steps, but I think we still have a long journey.
Do you think that it's really important to be able to create, like, jiu-jitsu is going to have to change a little bit in order to create an entertaining sport? Sorry?
Yeah, but the thing is not about jiu-jitsu changing. Actually, the rule set need to be changed. That's the thing, because you see in my academy, we train everything. We train grappling. We do jiu-jitsu, we do everything, leg locks, heel hooks, everything, takedown.
I like that.
That's what we do. And when we go to compete, we set ourselves to the rule set of the organization. Basically, when I tell my guys, we train wrestling, we train judo, we train jiu-jitsu, we train grappling, we train samba, whatever you call it, we train it here. But when you go to the competition, you read the rule set, and you strategize. You strategize your plan according to the rule set.
That's very true. That's very true. And like, I was talking to Alexandre Nascimento, who's one of the head coaches of JJAU, somebody who's very familiar with it. Exactly.
He's my gringo.
Bro, exactly. He's your gringo. I consider him a gringo here too. Man, He has stories for days about you. I train with him usually, and he says nothing but good things about you, of course.
Yeah.
But I had a podcast with him, and he was explaining how NBA players use the rule sets to their advantage. It's not a limitation. They learn how to be professional sportsmen by navigating the rules. Jiu-jitsu, the successful athletes know how to use the edge of the mat, know how to reset, know how to get 2 points while holding a submission and going off the mat, things like this. But the current rule set, you're right, it's not for the non-jiu-jitsu athlete.
Yeah.
And it promotes a weird kind of game, right? It doesn't yet promote the right mix.
It's very hard for the people who is not untrained and don't have untrained the eye, just to know who's winning. The top position from bottom position. It's very hard to figure out. And I think the rule set should be. You see the people trying with the events, with the grappling. I think that's my opinion. I think grappling is more conditioned to be an Olympic sport than jiu-jitsu with the gi. That's what I believe, because they have judo. You see, because you are competing. The thing is, it's like a competition. Okay, going to the Olympics is not an easy process.
No,
you need to have good politics. You need to have a good audience base.
Funding.
And fund for sure funding. I mean, you got some funding now with the JJIF.
Yeah.
And also, you need to be entertainment. That's the thing.
Big thing is entertaining for non-jiu-jitsu practitioners. That's the big one.
You see, when I went to Greece, I studied in International Olympic Academy in Olympia, actually where the Olympic had started.
Okay.
So basically, when I introduced myself, I introduced my sport, nobody know it. And these guys come from all around the world, from all our backgrounds of martial arts. Only the Brazilians knew it, and some Palestinian guy knew it, the jiu-jitsu. But the rest, they actually didn't hear about it from before. So we have this type of disconnect.
Yeah.
With the other sports around us, especially the Olympic one.
When you say grappling to Greeks, to Romans, they'll think Greco-Roman wrestling. They'll think wrestling. They won't be like, they're like grappling. We've been doing that for centuries.
Yeah. So they have the pancration, which basically it's an MMA, and they have the old Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yes.
So basically, when you say that, they would think that, and when you go to Russia, they will think about Samba. That's the traditional one.
The Russian Sambo, right?
So, they call it in Russian accent Samba. So it's Sambo, same.
Because the O, if it doesn't have an accent, it's Samba.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, it's like Spasiba.
Okay. Spasiba, exactly.
Yeah, it's written with an O, but it's actually Spasiba. Yes.
Yeah. So the Samba in Russia, and you have grappling in India, you have grappling in Far East Asia, you have grappling in China, and you have grappling also with I think in Africa. It's very famous. The Senegal wrestlers. I don't know if you looked at that up, but Senegal wrestlers is a very, very big sport in Senegal.
There's a Netflix TV show. I don't know if you watch much Netflix, but there's a TV show that came out called Home Game. And one of the episodes is between Senegal and Ghana, and it's fucking crazy, man. Like, you see the wrestling and the culture behind it. These guys are insane.
I saw for the first episode about the Italian. This one, oh my god, I would love to play this one.
You would, man, Majaneen. Like, it's complete psycho. Like the first Italian one. What was the name of the sport? It's some ancient Florence game. It's like football, but with MMA.
Something like that.
Calcio.
That's it.
Yes. So it's two teams, right? They throw a ball on the net, but they have to beat the shit out of each other to throw the ball on the net. It's crazy.
It's rugby MMA. Or MMA rugby.
100%. That's the best description. And the goal is as wide as the entire pitch. Man, lots of vino and lots of alcohol involved to get that game going, man.
For sure, but you saw the episode, so the guys are drugged out. 100%.
Exactly.
You need to be out of your mind. You need to do that.
You have the guys with the cortisone injections on the side of the field. You saw that?
Yeah. Oh my god.
It's like, oh, my neck. Oh, okay. And just let's dig it. Fucking crazy, bro.
I remember this from my days in rugby. I played rugby for almost 1 year and a half here in Jordan.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, so I love this sport. I can't imagine myself as a rugby player actually if I'm not a jiu-jitsu player. It will be rugby. So basically, yeah, it was like that. So between
Yeah.
because 15, so when you have 15 people against 15 people, and it's like a warfare, but without
It is.
weapons.
It
Yeah.
is.
And
Man,
feels nice.
you were born to do this shit. You want to fucking
Yeah.
impact with people. Wow, what a guy. That's what I love about you, man. Like, when you were growing up in Jordan and training jiu-jitsu, judo, and all of these martial arts, like, what was your influences? Who was, like you said, idols are very important, right? So who were
Yeah.
your idols growing up?
My idol actually was in sports was Muhammad Ali. You know,
Mm.
Muhammad Ali Clay. He's actually my idol. You know, about his influence, his character.
Mm.
You know, and basically what I wanted to do is to have influence outside my individual circle. I want to influence people to come to the sport to see the benefits and the reflections that they can have to their life, you know, how they can reduce their anxiety and have self-confidence and train their traits like courage, bravery.
Yes.
That was actually my own motivation from the beginning when I see the sport influence on myself and
Yes.
the people around me. The other one, Muhammad Ali Clay. I remember watching his tapes when I was young.
Mm.
In jiu-jitsu, I used to like Hojo Gracie.
Yes.
No, yeah, very simple. I like this. I like simplicity.
Mm.
The way he do it, you know, it just like a hot knife with butter. Like you cut it like that.
Yes.
He said it. I remember like I attended a
Seminar?
seminar in TDM in Team Naguera, Dubai,
Yes.
and he was there and he spoke about it. And he spoke, listen, fundamentals takes time to work, but when it's work, that's it.
Mm. Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Like, Hodger Gracie is not a wide jujitsu. It's a deep jujitsu. When he holds you with a grip, there's years of this versions of this grip behind him. So, like, that's what you mean. Like, it goes through you like a hot knife through butter when he holds you.
Exactly. He's a judo practitioner, you know that? When he
Yes.
Yeah, when he went to England at first, there was not jiu-jitsu there. There weren't jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu gyms. He started it actually, and he used to get his training from judo. And when it comes the concept of komikata, the grip fighting, what we actually lack in jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So in jiu-jitsu, you don't have. We're very relaxed, very chill, very chill. You grab and he grabs you. In judo, there's nothing. If you grip, you finish. You know, any sequence in jiu-jitsu you're gonna start with the grip. So basically, you need to know how to start and how actually to block your opponent from starting. And this is called komikata, grip fighting.
Yeah, man. A lot of people in jiu-jitsu complaining about their knuckles hurting. Watch judo. They'll fuck up your knuckles right away. They won't let you grab their gi. They'll fucking tear your hand off.
Yeah, because it's over. The game will be over if he grip you. You know, that's you're gonna fly.
Oh man. Pull guard.
No guard.
Every jiu-jitsu guy. Every jiu-jitsu guy right now just pulled guard as you're talking. Fuck, man. That's a problem. Like, you really feel it when you train with a seasoned judo fighter. You feel danger. Like, you cannot stay standing, especially once he gets that grip.
That's the thing. Man. You fly. Actually, I had here in my academy, Beslan Mudranov. He's the Olympic champion 2016 in Rio de Janeiro.
Whoa.
He's very famous about his cat ability. When someone trying to throw him and he go like flying cartwheel, you know, around him, he take the ekpon. I host him here in my academy in Nas Jiu-Jitsu.
Wow.
And we had a flow with him when he throw me, like for 3-4 minutes.
Holy
it's
shit.
Wonderful, man! You can feel the technique. You can feel the technique.
Smooth,
fast, explosive, and feel weightless. That's it. Actually, this is actually the definition of judo.
Yes.
The gentle way.
Yes, exactly. Without strength and resistance, just getting that perfect technique to throw. My God, man! If you have a fear of heights, judo's not for you. You're gonna be flying everywhere.
100%.
Oh man, so. Man, I'm starting to get a better idea of what makes Zaid Granduke, because like I see your fights, and the one thing I like about you, Zaid, is your fights are exciting. Some jiu-jitsu guys, their fights, they're cool, they're technical guys, and you see them, but their fights are for the experts to watch, right? Your fights are for everybody to watch because you tend to go, you snap their neck down, you grab the guillotine, you have a nice style of fighting, and then when they lift up, you got the judo background behind you. Do you recommend jiu-jitsu guys to train some judo?
Oh, 100%. Like,
you think they're
like
relevant?
Not just, yeah, 100%. So like I told you, like it's not just for stand-up. People, when they think about judo, they think about stand-up. Listen to what I said. Komikata, the grip fighting, is actually the most crucial aspect from judo to jiu-jitsu. The komikata, the grip fighting. That's it. It's not, you need not to be the stand-up guy. You can be a guard guy, but you have the komikata concept with you.
Yeah.
And this actually, if you're gonna learn, you learn from judo guys because they have sense of emergency when they when you grab their gi, they were dying. It's like wrestlers when you try to put their shoulders to the ground. That's the thing. That's the sense of emergency that they have.
Wow. So it's just as bad as a pin for them when you grab their gi.
It's over. It's over.
Oh, so interesting. So interesting. I've been blessed to train with some really impressive judo black belts, and their techniques of breaking grips are totally different than what we're taught. Like, we're taught, hold your lapel and pop their hand off, or 2 hands on the wrist. That shit doesn't work against a judo guy.
It takes a year. It takes a year to do that. Yeah, you need to be snappy. You need to know how to control the knuckles. Okay, you need to understand the grip and how the pressure goes from these fingers and not these fingers, you know. So it's very, very detailed to the gripping details, you know. It goes into deep, very deep.
Oh my goodness, man. I definitely want to take up judo more seriously and independently as a martial art to complement my jiu-jitsu. And just, I had some negative like feedback. Some people be like, why, you're doing jiu-jitsu, why would you do judo? But you're pro.
Yeah, that's one of the things, because they don't know it. If your enemy, if what you're ignorant about, you'll be always enemy for what you're ignorant about. And I feel this animosity between martial arts. I never had it. I train whatever helps me to develop myself. You know, I go to wrestling. I play wrestling in Jordan. Actually, I'm the champion in the freestyle wrestling with Jordanian Federation.
When did that happen?
2017, 18, and 19.
I didn't know this, man. Wow. So you're grappling. You're not jiu-jitsuing. You're grappling.
Yeah, exactly. Like I told you, I train people here to do grappling. And the thing, before we go to the tournament, I say, look, it's only the rule set is different. You start to judge your game according to the rule set. That's it.
Man.
So
I think we're getting there. Like, I think by the growth of submission grappling in the US and everybody realizing there's more money in submission grappling, everybody's like, man, I need to start learning Sambo. I need to start learning Judo, Newaza. I need to start learning wrestling, freestyle. Like, we're starting to blend things together, and it's getting very interesting for me. I think this is where, like you said, we're going to get the right mix for the Olympic Committee to be like, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah,
also
100%.
Like, grappling is more closer, you know, to the audience than the jiu-jitsu and gi.
What does it mean to you to represent your country when you fight?
You see, you know, I like to be proud of the place I came out. And I like the place that I came out to be proud of me. That's the words of Abraham Lincoln, if I say it right. Okay. And when I go outside, and you have that type of nationalism in you. You know, the good amount, not the too much. You know, I have the good amount of nationalism in my heart for Jordan, especially. You know, when I go there and hear when they raise the flag and hear, you know,
the national anthem.
I feel very proud. I feel chills, goosebumps, you know. And then when I look around me to the countries who have a really long history in martial arts, and you as a Jordanian, you win and you raise your flag. It feels good. It feels good because you're an underdog. You know what I mean. Like last year when I was in Japan for ADCC trials, you know, this was my first time in grappling, to be honest. In a grappling competition was in ADCC trials in Japan. So I thought that maybe I'm not that good. I'm not at the level, because you always watch the highlights and these things. And when I fought, people around you start to, oh, who is this guy? This guy is not from Asia, and he's not from
Nice.
Australia, because we are Australians. We would know him, And they
Yeah.
come at me and say, "Hey, bro, what's up? You look good. You fight good. From where you are?" I say, "Jordan." "Oh, what's Jordan?"
Wow.
And when people start asking about Jordan, where's Jordan? I always say I'm from Dubai, so because it's
Mansaf.
easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I say Dubai. From Dubai. Oh, Dubai. You know.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
what happens. They start, putting Jordan in the map, and people start to know that. Okay, we don't have the resources, as you said. We don't have maybe the culture and the problem we talked about, the professionalism.
Yes.
Professional athleticism. We don't have the private sector needs to
Get
give us
involved.
more attention. Get involved. But until then, we will keep fighting. That's it.
Man, it's representing at the highest level when somebody comes up to you and be like, "Man, that's amazing. Where are you from?" Like the connection between "that's amazing" and "where are you from" is the reason sports make so much money. Countries support football, the World Cup. Look at how, like, World Cup is not a sport, it's a political thing. Because countries acknowledge how much power there is behind sports. When people see Brazil succeed in football, every fucking Brazilian is proud. And then when Brazil lost in the last World Cup very badly, every Brazilian was ashamed. It has a big impact on them. So
Also,
man, that
politics and sport goes like that. In sports, especially in the Olympic philosophy, they always think, oh, we need to separate sport from politics. But actually, the core belief of the Olympic movement is to bring peace, which is a political statement by itself. And sports leagues like the FIFA, like you have the cricket, is very big, the cricket in India and Pakistan, in Asia, and you have the American football in North America. Yeah. These things have a big influential effect on the masses. Yes. And politicians knew that. Yeah. We have a very interesting papers. I did research papers for my master's degree about politics and sports, and how it started actually from ancient in Greece. It's not started now. Ancient Greece used to use the sport as a political tool, to wage war, to raise armies, and to show that we have a stronger army than you.
Absolutely. The gladiators were not just fighting to the death. They used to also be part theater. And they'd make some gladiators dress like their enemies and make them have a very difficult fight, almost guaranteeing their death, so that people watch they put the odds against them, and people watch them suffer and die, and then they feel confident when they go to war. It's a tool. Whether it's extreme like gladiators or it's football, it's a tool.
Yeah. We have a lot of modern examples about that. Politicians using sport. We have actually Olympic games. I don't know if people know about that, but we have Olympic games called the Nazi Games. The Nazi Games.
Really? Till today?
Yeah. Yeah, no, not till today. So the Nazi Games basically was a summer Olympic and winter Olympic events that happens in Nazi Germany.
Whoa, okay.
And Hitler used it, to promote his idea about the chosen race, and we are above people because we are,
the Aryan race. Man, when you look back at footage of the Nazi Olympics with the flags and shit, it scares, man. It gives you chills. It's like, holy fuck, how did the world go to that event and be like, oh, okay, this is legitimate? Everybody should have been scared shitless. Like, this guy has a major plan. Are you guys blind?
Now, that's the thing. And actually, we had a very controversy around Pierre de Coubertin, was the godfather of the modern Olympics.
Okay.
He didn't go to the Nazi Olympics, because he said, because my train has passed and I couldn't catch my train. But everybody was, but everybody was like, I have a very harsh critics about him, because he had this idea, we need sport to build peace bridges between nations, But the thing is, not with Nazi Germany and not with, occupation forces. You can't build peace with these people.
Yeah,
like the apartheid
South Africa,
and the modern apartheid, I call it.
Yeah.
the people beside us. This is an
Exactly.
apartheid state.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
can't build peace with these people until they stop
100%.
fighting. They still kicking people out their homes.
Yeah.
I build peace with
Then we can
open
talk.
arms.
But
Yeah, of
man,
course.
you know what's interesting? Crossing over a little bit in terms of a similar theme, music. Music is just like sports. It pulls people together towards something. When Palestine had Muhammad Assaf on something as simple as, what was it, Arabs Got Talent? What was it, like the show? It wasn't Arabs Got Talent. It was some,
No, I don't watch these things. But
yeah, it was some,
I feel you.
it was a singing competition, and then the Palestinian won. Fucking hell, like, I think the Israeli soldiers were scared to enter Palestine that day because how many people were just fucking going crazy. It's the impact. Like, I'll give you a hypothetical, like a thought experiment. Imagine next Olympics, Jordan wins gold in 10 divisions. What happens in Jordan the next day?
It's already happened to 2016 with Ahmed Abu Ghosh when he won the Olympic gold medals. Man,
There you go.
we had a movement called the Olympic movement in Jordan. Okay,
Wow.
that's it. I would say before we did not hear about it. I only hear about this. Oh, I don't know. This is like old. It's not connected to me. After Ahmed Abu Ghosh, the athletes, the athletic community, the peoples goes all around because we can do it. He gives
Yes.
that. He gives us hope. You know,
The path.
when he get the gold medal, yeah, he gives hope. No, hope. Just give us. You can do it. You come from Jordan. You train hard. You can do it. That's it.
Wow.
You give people hope, and you can see wonders. That's it.
Yeah, and then that ties into what we were talking about offline before we went live about combating this new digital culture, combating this new lifestyle that people fall into because it's comfortable. And this is kind of by the way, like, it's the lifestyle companies want you to be in. When you're in that lifestyle, you're easier to convince to buy things. But if you're a healthy, fit guy training jiu-jitsu morning to night, it's very difficult to convince you to buy whiskey. It's very difficult to convince you to buy Nike, Air Force One. You don't give a fuck. They're not going to make me fight better. I'm not going to, if I wear them, maybe I'll get heel hooked harder. Fuck that. Like, you think differently. So talk to me a little bit about how you feel a sport or a martial art like jiu-jitsu can positively impact a society.
Yeah, well, basically, actually, one of the projects that I'm very passionate about here in the academy is using jiu-jitsu as an actual interaction to help the kids, especially the young generation, to stop what I call the illusion world. You know, the illusion world, they spend a lot of time in front of these screens, and maybe their physical appearance is in this location, but they're in a different planet.
You mean virtual reality, like they play a life separate.
Yeah, illusion word. It's basic is an illusion word. So we use jiu-jitsu and we use physical activity to be an interaction, to be a tool to help, fight against the illusion word, So basically we have a discussion with the parents here in nights. We're speaking about parenting techniques and what you do with your kids, the rewarding system. We have rewarding system, So yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big problem. I feel very compassionate with the parents these days, and basically I feel compassionate with myself when my time comes. It will be hard. You can't now just imitate what your parents did with you, because the world is different.
Yeah,
and parenting now is an essential knowledge. It's not something you do it by.
It's a
by
skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. You need to train it. You need to read.
Yes,
it's a knowledge.
I believe it, man. Like before we had our first son, I started like downloading audiobooks left and right because I really felt it was a weight on me. And now he's 4 years old, and there's one thing that I read everywhere and I heard everywhere, and it's so true. Every parent, kids don't give a shit what you say. They will only look at what you do.
Imitate.
They will only imitate. If you want a kid to do something, you better be ready to do it yourself. Don't you dare.
Practice what you preach.
Yes, man. Don't you dare tell them don't smoke and your ass smokes. Don't tell them not to drink and you drink. Fuck off. They're going to do exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, well, they have details about that. From 0 to 3 years, they have something. From 3 years to 7 years, they have something. And all gonna imitate you. They see you as their idol. Especially before they go out and see the world,
Yeah, 100%, man. That's very true. So let's talk a little bit about Knight's Jiu-Jitsu Academy, like starting it up. You got your black belt before starting it, or like when did you start it?
We started Knight's Jiu-Jitsu 2017.
Okay.
You know, it's like when I finished my college. I studied civil engineering in college. I have a bachelor's degree in civil engineering.
Okay.
So when I finished, I had that decision that I talked to you about. You know, either I continue in the sports and fight my way. It's very difficult. It's very ambiguous. You can't see a future. You know.
Yes.
Or I go, you know, just a workforce and being a part of the workforce. You know, in the society. So I looked like this. Okay, not many athletes we have. Okay, and I saw what influence that I have around on the people around me. So I said, okay, they deserve a try, deserve to put your life for this, you know.
Wow.
So I decided to be a professional athlete, and since then, alhamdulillah, you know, we have a good run till now.
Yes. Yes.
You know, we started jiu-jitsu, night jiu-jitsu, me and Captain Jahad Touj. I can told you, my first coach and my partner in nights. And we started in the idea of we're gonna make jiu-jitsu more democratic, you know, to spread it through the society, because jiu-jitsu as an activity always goes with a certain type of people, you know, because it kind of expenses comparing with other martial arts and with other activities.
True.
So what we're gonna do is we need it as a business because we're putting all our work
on
money.
Also,
yes, and we need to make a balance with legacy. So we started nice out of this idea.
I see. And by democratic, you mean to be able to be more accessible by people?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So our tuition is comparably is low, you know,
adjusted
to other gyms. And we always, when we see talent, you know, comes out, we have a special program called Nights of Future. You pay me with your commitment, and you don't pay money. Don't pay money. Just pay me with your commitment. That's it.
I love it. And I like that when you say knight, you're referring to the knight chess piece, not the knight armored knight, right?
Exactly. I like the double meaning, but basically, you see?
I see the logo. Yes, absolutely. And man, it's a beautiful logo.
Chess game.
I like the style. We always say jiu-jitsu is a chess game, but man, I think it's even more complex than chess. You know, because chess has specific amounts of squares on the board, and as exponentially infinite as it seems, it's not as infinite as the joints on your body. You have more joints than chess squares on a board, and that's what makes it so fucking incredible. So I guess to be a knight in jiu-jitsu, you better be fucking good.
Because you move unique. You see, the knight piece in chess, they move unique. They can't jump.
Yeah.
You know, not like the rest of the.
They're not blocked. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, not blocked. That's it.
So you're a chess player.
Little bit, not too much.
Bit.
To be honest, to be honest, not too much. But I like chess because the amount of strategy. Because this is what when I'm speaking with my students, I say in the jiu-jitsu tournament especially, does not mean if you are stronger, faster, does not mean they're gonna win. Because I lost myself from people who's not my strength level, you know, because they had a good strategy, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because they play the rule set, and there comes the strategy planning, you know.
That's it. That's when it becomes a sport and not a martial art. Because martial art is about fighting to the death, but sport is something different.
Yeah, comité. Yeah. The martial arts is about the concept of comité. No rules, or rules that not evolve to a certain depth. No time limit.
Yes.
And you're gonna fight for the submission.
Would you like to fight in such a competition?
100%.
Nice.
This is my type of competition.
Nice.
Actually, I lose because of the rule set. Yeah. Most of my loss, to be honest with you, is advantages, decision, points. That's it. I lost by submission, but it's the minority. Yeah. The majority is by decision, points, and advantages.
This is an interesting thing. I won one fight without realizing it. I was in a competition and I locked in a guillotine. And it was towards the end of the fight, but the guillotine wasn't really deep in, but the guy couldn't get out and he kept driving forward. It's not like I was planning this. He drove me off the mat. When they reset, I got 2 points. I looked at the ref, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what did
I'm winning. Oh, I'm good. Okay.
I didn't know. I'm like, man, that was the shittiest guillotine on earth. Why did you give me 2 points? And then I won the fight. So I stood there. I'm like, fuck. It really is important to learn the rules, because if I had planned that shit, I'd gotten 10 points. I'd do 5 shitty guillotines and I'd win. Let's go. But no, I totally relate with that, man. But here's another thing I wanted to talk to you about is Jordan's atmosphere, right? We'll come back to Nice Jiu-Jitsu Academy because I want to go into more detail on it. But Jordan, is, as an atmosphere, you got a lot of early Jiu-Jitsu, a lot of talent involved. But Jordan has a big society. You've got different levels, wealthy, middle class, lower class.
Yeah.
And something I noticed very interesting about Jordan is the lower class was often segregated from normal society. They had their own areas, and Jordan was always looked at as a tough place. You know, like the lower class would be considered something like the guys Za'ran, or like they're feared kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, from the ghettos, yeah.
Yeah, from the ghettos. But I met a bunch of guys while I went to Jordan that are from these areas but train jiu-jitsu. And somehow, like you feel, I don't know, like everybody has this perspective. We always look at society in brackets and we have these preconceived judgments of them, right? But then when you really get to know them, they're just fucking cool guys. They're normal, right? But jiu-jitsu seemed to bridge that gap. You see guys from every level of Jordanian society training together and like getting along well. Guys, girls, everything.
Yeah, reconciliation inside the same society. Yes. That's the thing, you know. And one of the things that helped the spreading of the sport here in Jordan, it was actually, we have in the royal family, very interested people in jiu-jitsu. We have actually a black belt called Prince Abbas. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And we have also Prince Hussein Mirza, which is the head of Jiu-Jitsu Federation, also a practitioner of jiu-jitsu. And even the crown prince, Prince Hussein, is a very, he have a very serious interest in MMA and jiu-jitsu. And we have also Princess Salma, you know, the first fighter pilot, the fighter jet pilot here in Jordan, and she also trained in Muay Thai and martial arts. So have this interesting in the royal family in jiu-jitsu, and because the nature of Jordan governing system, also the king, His Majesty, also is a very interesting guy. He like martial arts. He adore it, you know. And he, with Zaid Mirza, introduced jiu-jitsu to the army, and King Abdullah adopted with the army. And who's in the army? You know, everybody. Yes. Especially from the lower income society.
Yes.
And they train jiu-jitsu in the army. And after they finish their servant, what they do?
Continue.
Yeah, they come back to their places and open the gyms.
Wow.
And now we have gyms all around the kingdom, you know, offering jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
And we have actually opened a new gym in Ramtha, and is in the northern region of Jordan, in Ramtha and Irbid, for top champions. Top champion academy is for Ghalib Harashi and Saddam al-Abdallah. Both of them was a military guys and teammates in Team Mirza. So we are very proud, and we're very happy to see that. You know, the proliferation of the sport, you know, spreading it to the, like you said, the low income society, and they bring them together. And you see where sport have an inclusion aspect for everybody, because we understand the language of jiu-jitsu.
Knowing jiu-jitsu and knowing the long game of jiu-jitsu, you know what impact that's going to have on these areas. You know that kids are going to have a future guaranteed, man. If you learn jiu-jitsu and you're a purple belt plus, you almost got a guaranteed future in martial arts. Everybody's going to need a fucking purple belt, right? Everybody's going to need somebody who knows how to grapple to a certain level. And that aspiration alone gives them a path to be healthy, to be fit, to contribute to society. I see somebody's trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
So with Knights Jiu-Jitsu Academy, you haven't only opened Knights. You told me that you opened in different branches as well.
Yeah, I have my students. I have a Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Palestine called Jits.
Nice. What started that?
My students called Ahmed Khufash. He used to train with me here in Jordan.
Okay.
We trained together, and he wanted to open a gym, you know, to spread the sport in Palestine. And Of course, I was interested,
Yes.
especially in Palestine, because I feel like I have a deep connection with the cause,
Yes.
So we started the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, Paljas in Ramallah.
Nice.
And after it, also, I have one of my international students, Benjamin.
Okay.
He's from Bosnia. Also, he started a gym where you can have a strongman training, gym, kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing, and Jiu-Jitsu in
Wow.
Sarajevo, Bosnia. So we'll
Called Knights?
call Nice Training Center.
Nice. Nice.
And
Okay.
it's placed actually in previous nuclear weapon silos.
Oh,
So it looks epic and have a story,
That is
It's a very
fucking
tough
cool.
place. Yeah.
To be in like a ex-communist country in a silo, sitting down training jiu-jitsu. Now we're talking, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Bosnian people are really, really tough. Really
Man.
tough.
I do some work in Serbia, and I traveled between Serbia and Montenegro. Oh my fucking God, man. These guys, I don't know what they eat. I don't know what's in their oxygen or their water, but they're like 6'5", and they don't need belts. Like a white belt will murder you. They're too fucking strong.
Benjamin, his nickname in the team is the Mountain.
Oh, Game of Thrones comes in.
Mashallah, he's like 2 meters, 160 kilos, full of muscles. Come on, man.
Mashallah. Oh no, man. Oh, mashallah, Ali, man.
It's scary. And you know what? It's not just that. He plays warm guard.
Oh no!
He's a guard
what?
player. Oh, yeah.
That's terrifying.
I would send you some videos. He's one of the top in Europe. He's a brown belt now. He's one of the top in Europe. And this guy plays open guard, plays warm guard. He's very flexible. He can put his leg easily behind his head. And he's 2 meters, 160 kilos.
That's terrifying.
It is.
Holy shit! I wouldn't want to approach that guard. I just get a stick. I'd go get some weapon.
Man, everybody, when I go out with him in a competition, and when he start, everybody think, oh, this is a stand-up guy. Okay, it's very huge. He can. And when he pull guard, you look to the look of the face of his opponent and the people around him. So it's of course shock. He won because of the shock.
That is amazing.
They didn't understand it. They don't understand. It's very weird, actually.
I would love to see this, man. I would love to see this. You have something interesting about you, Zaid, is the way you teach. Another thing that's interesting, I talked to Yara Kakish, is about the names that you give shit and the way that it's memorable. This is what's important. Like John Danaher has this rant that he talks about. He's like, in order to transfer information from one person to another, language is very important. I can tell you something in 50 words, but a really good coach can give you the same message in 5, right? And an amazing coach can give you the message in a different language, and you have a different language for jiu-jitsu, like parachute and some of the terms. So what is your teaching method? Like when somebody comes to you that's new, are you teaching them hardcore drill, fitness, this, or do you have some kind of like structure that you follow?
Here, actually, the thing that we focus about is the concept of jiu-jitsu. Is how you can structure the game in your head. Okay, so basically when we start with self-defense because it's more close to people. They can understand the scenario they have in. After we finish the scenarios, the basic scenarios of self-defense of jiu-jitsu, we started the sport jiu-jitsu. And when we started the concept of movement in jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. So you have a certain pattern. The jiu-jitsu movement to the human body is not natural. It's not something you can get it from instinct. Something you need to learn, by trial and error, and you have the expertise around you to teach you that.
Yes.
So we start with that. We start with the concepts. And then we build the structure and the sequences of the chunks of the movements. Then we put them in the sequence and we let them do the sequence full.
Position by position?
Yeah, it's like in engineering, it's called work breaking system, WBS.
Interesting.
So you have the big picture, the context, and the activities, the small activities, the chunks.
Yes.
So you need to teach them the chunks, the context of the move, and the big picture. What you're gonna do? What's the concept of jiu-jitsu? You need to close the distance, take him on the ground, control him, then submit him. Yeah. The distance control. That's the thing. How you start the komikata, the grip fighting. Mm-hmm. It's very important. People don't look at this in the beginning of jiu-jitsu, and because of that, they feel very lost. No, I feel the I get the feelings of the white belts when they come to jiu-jitsu dojo,
Yeah.
because they see this. Oh my god, what are these guys doing? It's very very wide. It's very complicated. So basically, what we do is we put it in a structure. We start
Mm.
with the concepts and we show them the path as a context. Chunks, 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 then sequence. Chunks, 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 then sequence.
I
And I
love
feel
that
that,
you
yeah,
feel
and I
what?
feel that help people to get more, let's say, uh, more confident about continuing in jiu-jitsu, because one of the things that you see, people come here and they thought, oh, jiu-jitsu gonna move and these things, but you get your ass beaten every day, and it
Yes.
will take time until you start beating ass. But
That
we
that's
say that from the beginning. Yeah.
That's the thing, you know that, but man, you hit a nerve with what you said. This is such an important topic for the jiu-jitsu community. I think the reason that we have so many people quit jiu-jitsu is not because they don't like it. And it's not because maybe the teachers aren't right or they're being too tough. I think people quit because they don't see the path clearly. They're like lost, as you said. And
Yeah.
I feel like anybody that's training jiu-jitsu that feels like they're not understanding why they're doing what they're doing, start seeking jiu-jitsu elsewhere. I hate to put it that way, but start seeking coaches that will give you a concept and not a technique, because you have so many people that end up losing love for jiu-jitsu because like, okay, this technique, that technique, and they start trusting. They're like, okay, I'm going to trust the process and I'm going to get better. But they don't. And they're just, okay, I know this technique, but why can't I apply it? Because you don't know the concepts, where you have to be, where your body needs to be, the positioning, the alignment, if you're perpendicular, aligned with the spine. Like, you need to understand these to make a sweep happen. Doesn't matter if you know where to put the foot and how to hold. You got to understand why he's going to fall. I
Yeah.
think what you're saying is huge, and I hope we have more people discussing this openly.
Yeah, I got this feedback from my students. Through the years, I'm coaching for the past 10 years.
Wow.
I started since I was a blue belt teaching, And one of the feedbacks that I have from the white belts, we are lost, coach. Okay, because we offer more than one product. We offer boxing, Muay Thai, and see them first week they change to another martial art and another product. They want to move. Like you said, they are looking forward to martial arts, for the concept.
Yes.
I say, why you stop jiu-jitsu? I say, coach, I don't understand. That's it. I don't understand. And this helped me a lot, to evolve my way of teaching.
Wow.
So when we bring people, we describe the concept of jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
the concept of control. Then we start breaking it down to chunks and give them context. It's very important. Like,
Brilliant.
you do this, the common reaction is this.
Brilliant.
That's it.
So this makes sense. Like, what I was really impressed with you, Zaid, is I saw you released the instructional online, and this is a huge step for the Middle East. You literally opened up a way. It's one of those situations where like, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those like, fuck, that makes perfect sense. Why has nobody fucking made an Arabic instruction? Obviously, you need experience, you need coaching, but what you did, I think, is huge and is going to open up a new wave for people to fall in love with jiu-jitsu before coming to nights, right?
Inshallah. This is the expectations we have about this course. It's called Jiu-Jitsu 101, Jiu-Jitsu 101.
Yes.
And the first Arabic content jiu-jitsu course in the world,
Yes.
And for me, alhamdulillah, it was the right people around me, So the guy who directed and did the montage is Yazan Wakhyan. He's one of my friends as a jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Nice.
And my student helped me, Iyas and Abdurrahman.
Nice.
And they were always around me, we're going to do this, coach. We're going to do this. And we did it, alhamdulillah. You see?
What got you thinking to start this? Like, was it a business move, or was it something that you felt was going to lead to more people? Like, what was going on in your head?
So basically, what was in my head actually to use the tools that people use it outside. They already, when I see the instructions, and I personally use the instructions,
Yes,
from different schools and different coaches. I said, well, this is a very influential tool. Why we don't have it here? And when I when I saw, the people, like you said, not all people know how to speak English,
100%.
understand English. That's it. So I speak Arabic, and then
Yes.
I have the knowledge. Why I didn't do it? So I did it for this reason, primary.
Brilliant.
And the business side of it, if it succeed, if people buy it, I would do more in Arabic content. But actually, we're planning the second and the third course will be in English and Arabic subtitle. I hope
I tell you what,
I would love to do it in Arabic content, to be honest with you.
I'm going to be very honest with you right now. I know it is not the easier path and it's easier to sell in English as a business model, but I would hold to my guns with Arabic because listen, UFC is here. People are fucking watching and everybody knows. If you don't know how to grapple, you're screwed.
80% of fighting is in grappling, yeah.
Man, if you focus a little bit more with MMA style grappling in Arabic, you're going to have a lot of fucking audience, right? Yes, we're a pirating society, okay? But trust me, we're also a society that acknowledges and appreciates effort, right? When an Arab does something, we appreciate them. I know we have that in us, and especially when somebody like you, who's who's a person on the national team of Jordan, somebody who's representing the country, doing for people. I really think stick to your guns with Arabic, man. You've got kids in Palestine that would love to learn online. You've got kids in Algeria, Tunis, Syria that would love to fucking do jiu-jitsu that don't speak English. And you are a very respectable person that can be admired by many people around the Arab world. So I would fucking stick to your guns, man. There's plenty of English out there. You're going to compete with Marcelo Garcia.
You popped me for this, so... Yeah. I think, inshallah, this is the vision, to spread the word.
Israel, plant that fucking seed now, okay? Right? There's a famous Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second best time to plant it is right now.
Oh, nice.
So plant that seed right now, and trust me, 10 years from now, you'll be like, thank God I planted it 10 years ago. Right? I'm so pumped. I was so happy when I saw that post. We weren't in communication, me and you and stuff, but I was like, I fucking almost jumped from joy. I'm like, yes, it's fucking happening finally. Because my goal, my obsession right now is to really put Middle East Jiu Jitsu on the map as a platform. You guys, the athletes, the people need to fucking wake up. We got some crazy talent, man. And we don't need to go to the US and outside to see it. They need to come here and check this the fuck out because we got some legitimate fighters now. Go on.
Actually... let me show you this one.
I love it. What is this?
So basically,
ADC, yes!
The best team in ADC Turkey Open was my team, all from Middle East. We competed against the guys from Europe, from Asia. Also guys from the Middle East, and we took the best team.
Yeah, that's and people need to know. For these ADCC trials, people travel from all over the world to different destinations to get easier access too. So. Tell me about that ADCC because I love the performance. I love the Circassian dance after you win. You fucking, there was a bunch of interesting fights, but there was that, monster guy that you fought.
Yeah.
Damn, man. Damn, what are you thinking when you go to the ADCC and you're grappling and you're seeing these, human beasts in front of you?
So basically, the idea started me and with one of my friends called Mansour Makhchayev. He trains in Team Naguera, Dubai.
Okay.
And we wanted to go to do grappling and also to see Japan. So I said, oh, okay.
Nice.
Two birds in one stone. That's perfect. So we trained very hard. We prepared very hard for this competition. And I went to Japan, went to the event, my first event of grappling. So I was like, okay, I can do it. I have a good wrestling. I have a good submission game. So we'll see what happens. First fight was very beautiful, very easy, very smooth. I did my signature move, the signature tie. The necktie choke.
Yes.
And after it comes the former UFC champion, Robert Whittaker, against this monsters guy. And they played, and this monsters guy finished Robert Whittaker in the heel hook, I think, in 1 minute.
That big guy can heel hook? Shit.
Yeah, he can heel hook. He can do kimuras. He can do everything.
Oh, no.
He's a good fighter, actually.
Oh, no. That's like your friend that can do worm guard and he's 160.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So the second fight with him. Okay. So for me, I don't care. Like you said, I fight anytime, anywhere. But
Yes.
then he took off his shirt, So I said, okay, I was joking.
أكلنا خرا.
Yeah, I was joking with Mansoor and also, the commentator. The commentator is called Kashmiri. Firas
Okay.
Kashmiri. He's one of my friends. Also, he's an Saudi Jiu-Jitsu prospect. He did silver medal in the last World Championship JJF in Abu Dhabi. So this guy is legit, So he was like, "Oh, Zaid, look at this guy." I said, "Maybe we go to a restaurant or something. Go eat sushi, brother." He's huge. He's huge. I always, my eyes trained with the huge people, but this guy is out of the charts.
Yes.
So I said, okay, that he will be strong, and he'll be very conditioned. And when we start the game, he has actually a very legit practitioner. But in the strength-wise, actually, I felt superior.
I saw that. I saw the match.
Yeah, to that instant that he was catching a kimura, and it's like that, okay? So it's outside. So in jiu-jitsu, that's he finished me. I didn't feel threatened. And I was afraid because I didn't feel threatened. You understand what happened?
Maybe he's planning something.
It's like, I'm not threatening. Yeah, what was that? Then I did like this, and we scrambled. Alhamdulillah, I got the win.
Wow, man, because like that was a big win. I felt like when you won, like that moment, khalas, like that's it. You knew you got it.
Yeah, he has a good conditioning. Conditioning of this guy was very good.
That's impressive because it's funny, when I posted today about like tonight's guest, I posted a bunch of pictures, right? So many people sent me a message. They're like, what the fuck is this guy he fought? They're like, how tough is this guy to beat him? And that's the kind of like the moments that you want to build your career and your reputation, that you'll face anyone anywhere and that you have the potential for greatness, which is why I want to ask you, what are your plans moving forward from now? What's the future for Zaid Granduke?
So the future, inshallah, it's actually to rank one in the JJF with the national team.
Okay.
To have my first World ADCC grappling title in Las Vegas the next year. That's what I'm planning for. This is my thing, because I like grappling now. I can do grappling, and I feel more comfortable, to be honest with you, in the grappling.
Yes.
And also, I'm thinking about AJB Tour, the Grand Slams. Yeah, the Grand Slams. I believe when they open the airports, I'll be competing, inshallah, the first one.
I hope so soon, man. I hope like this pandemic thing needs to fuck off quickly so we can go back to competing. There's so much good happening, man. I want to see ADCC.
God, I miss competing a lot.
Yeah. I know, and it's difficult now. Like everybody's limited. We can't train properly. We can't go to other gyms. Like it's so stranded, but it makes you appreciate jiu-jitsu. Like we were talking offline. Thanks to this phase, we got a lot of catch up on the media side in the Middle East to where we are in terms of our capabilities, and we got to talk to each other more. Inshallah, and I hope this time people get to reflect, look at their jiu-jitsu, look at their team, build new relationships so that once this opens up, we lean on each other so that we can get better as Middle East Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, when you have competitions in Abu Dhabi, which now is actually Jiu-Jitsu hub, is a Jiu-Jitsu capital.
Yes.
But this has helped us a lot. I remember my first competition in 2010 was the World Pro. Abu Dhabi World Pro. It was the second version, I believe. I was a blue belt, 16 years old. They were not juvenile. There was not juvenile category, so I fought in the adult. And first fight, I did the flying armbar in 30 seconds. Second one is an armbar. Third one, I lost in the bronze match with a teammate, so I got a bronze medal. Okay. And I remember, I know you know Hosseini.
Yes.
Hosseini and Ammar was commentating in my fights in 2010, and the first time that I met them. So basically, Ammar came to me and my coach and says, okay, Zaid, we're very proud of you, and you won the fastest submission in the World Pro that year. And I was competing with Rafael Mendez for the fastest submission. Yeah, and I got the fast submission, I think, under 30 seconds or something like that.
Now that's a fucking achievement, man.
Yeah. The feeling of accomplishment had hooked me up with jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
I
man.
said, oh, I can do it. You know?
And I think, like the event itself, the World Pro, changed the tide for Middle East, because like to go to an event like that with cameras and people commentating and judges, it's like, God damn, man, I'm just a blue belt. You guys know I'm a blue belt? You know what I mean? Like you think, like you feel like you're cheating them. It's like, I'm not a black belt, guys. Why are you treating me like this? And this is what made so many people compete and be part of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and this is the thing about jiu-jitsu. You can compete. There's many categories. You can practice jiu-jitsu. You know, some of the martial arts, you can't practice it when you surpass the 40 or 45 years old. If you can't. In jiu-jitsu, you can, and you can compete even. So this is a plus for jiu-jitsu community.
That's a huge thing. Like most martial arts, like Muay Thai, you can compete real Muay Thai. You can, no headgear, nothing, sure. But a lot of other martial arts, you can't really compete 100%. They've all got headgears, bodyguards, shit. Jiu-jitsu, you go 100%.
Exactly. Because it's a grappling art without punching, you know. You can spar every day. Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, man. I can't wait for the future, man. I can't wait to see you, inshallah, succeed with ADCC and everything that you're up to. We're very proud of you. It's something that pleases me so much to see what you're doing, and I hope you continue to do this and represent Jordan very well, but as well the Middle East, man, because you're that generation that everybody's looking up to right now.
Inshallah. You see, with you guys, the media guys, inshallah, we're gonna do a wonderful thing.
We will.
You know, when they open the airports, I'm more than happy to do a travel vlog. You know, if you are down to it,
man.
We do Jordan, Palestine, around the Middle East. You know, the starting countries.
Done.
We do a travel vlog because I saw that they do it in other platforms, and it's very inspiring. It's very, very inspiring.
Done. I'm down. This is something that's in the works. Everybody listening, there's some big things coming with the Jits Guy. You guys are going to find out soon, and I'll definitely let you know about it. But man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. I hope you had a good time on this podcast.
Oh my God, the best time. Actually, you are very good in your work.
Thank you so much.
I'm not trying to give you a flattery. It's appreciation. It's for real.
I appreciate that. Sincerely appreciate that, man. And honestly, it's wavelengths, right? We are jiu-jitsu people. We train, we compete, we do the same things that each other do. It's easy to relate, but I feel like I'm on a same wavelength as you. And I admire you. I admire what you do, which makes me want to ask you more questions. So inshallah, there'll be a lot more times where we sit together and talk. We share a good Sadr Mansaf in Jordan and talk about all the good stuff,
with the
brother.
gringo, but we bring the gringo with us.
I will bring the fucking gringo. I promise you I'll bring him. I love this guy. Habibi, thank you so much for doing this. Everybody on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. We have Poliana Lago, one of the veterans training women here in the UAE. BJJ 5-time world champion. Zaid Granduke, thank you so much for doing this, brother.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, my friend. Everybody, catch you later on the next podcast. Thank you.